Hi everyone, very good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Someone please confirm it in the chat box. Hi Arun sir, very good evening.
Good, very good evening. Very good evening.
Yeah, I think it's audible, right?
Yeah.
I think we can start from five past five. Like just wait for another 5 minutes. Like few people are trying to join, so we'll wait for another 5 more minutes and we'll start.
Fine. Fine.
I think we can start now. Hi, everyone. Very good evening to all. The knowledge series of TaxScan. Would warm welcome to TaxScan's knowledge series. We have Mr. Arun Saha with us to take the session. Warm welcome to Arun sir also. I am not taking much time for welcome speech. I'm like giving the access to Arun sir. Over to you, sir.
Fine. Thank you so much, TaxScan team, and to this wonderful webinar on the knowledge part. And now we are starting our technical deliberation on 47th GST Council meeting. There are so many outcome are there, so many clarification yet to come, so many changes in the rate notification, etc. We are going to start one by one. We will spend some good time on the various topic. So first, I am starting with the multiple rate changes. So they are saying in the 47th GST Council meeting, recommendation were given for revision of the rate on the goods and services so as to ensure the rate rationalization to remove inverted duty structure. See, we all know there are the two ways to remove the inverted duty. Either decrease the tax rate on the input or increase the tax rate on the outward supply. So with respect to the rate rationalization, government has increased the rate so that there would be no inverted duty structures. Very good evening to all of you. This presentation would be shared after the end of the webinar to all the participants by the TaxScan team. So we will focus on the discussion. Similarly, these rate has been increased. Solar, water, heater and system, etc. Now the job work in relation to the processing of skin and leather is also being increased. Job work in relation to the leather goods and footwear is also being increased. So work contract, this is again the very, very important change for all of us, because we need to understand that the work contract, which was having the subsidized rate like 12%, 5%, etc. From 18th July, we need to give the attention and identify what is the exact tax rate applicable. If we see the serial number 15 of that particular press release, work contract for the road, bridge, railway, metro, the 12% is current rate is going to be increased to 18%. Similarly, work contract supplied to the central and state government, local authority, historical movement, canal, dam, pipeline, etc. the rate are going to be increased. Similarly, the work contract supplied to the central state involving predominant earthwork, the rate is going to be huge increased. These are the earlier tax rate. Similarly, the rate has been increased on the ostomy appliances. It has been decreased from 12 to 5% on these appliances. IGST on the import, earlier it was taxable at 5, now it has been exempted. Cut and polished diamond. So earlier the diamond was under 0.25%. It means 0.50%. Now the rate structure is going to be increased to 3%. IGST on the specified defense item is also made exempted. Transportation of the goods and passenger by ropeway 18 to 5. Renting of the truck where cost of the fuel is included. Earlier it is 18, now it has been decreased to 12%. Now the very, very important and confusing. Until now, the GST was exempted on the specified food item were not branded, or right or the brand has been foregone. It has been recommended to revise the scope of the exemption to exclude from its pre-packaged and pre-labeled, important term I'm underlining, retail pack. Again, I'm saying underlining the important term, that is retail pack in terms of the Legal Metrology Act, including pre-packed, pre-label, curd, lassi and buttermilk. What does it mean? Earlier, the taxability was depend upon whether my product is branded or not. If it is branded, I need to pay the tax. If it is unbranded or I have forgone the brand, then it is exempted in the GST. Now they are linking the taxability with respect to pre-pack or pre-labeled retail pack in terms of the Legal Metrology Act. The point number 1, what is the Legal Metrology Act? What is talking about? Let's read the Legal Metrology Act. Legal Metrology Act is an act to establish and enforce the standard of weight and measure, regulate trade and commerce in the weight, measure and other goods which are sold or distributed by weight, measure or number, and for matter connected thereto. According to the section 18, declaration on every pre-packaged commodity are mandatory in such a manner as may be prescribed. Beside, a person should not manufacture, pack, sell, import, distribute, deliver, offer, expose or possess a packaged commodity without the declaration and particular thereof. Or if it means I have made the packaging and on which it is not branded, but I have labeled something, and that labeling would be called as a pre-labeled according to the legal metrology, and now in the GST it become taxable. What is the meaning of the pre-packaged commodity? Commodity which without the purchaser being present is placed in a package of whatever nature, whether sealed or not, so that the product contained therein has a predetermined quantity. Now, why I am saying that you should understand the concept of the retail pack in terms of the Legal Metrology Act. If I go to the Legal Metrology Act, it says that it is not applicable on packaging of 25 kg or 25 liter. One minute. So I like to highlight, I like to share that particular part. So just I have downloaded from the Google, the Legal Metrology Act and the rules. It's chapter 2. It's saying that provision of this chapter shall not apply. Where it will not apply? Package of the commodity containing quantity of more than 25 kg or the 25 liter, excluding cement and fertilizer sold in the bag up to 50 kgs. Meaning thereby, if I am selling something in more than 25 kg or more than 25 liter, even though it is pre-packed, it will not having the applicability of the legal metrology, and therefore probably that will not be taxable in the GST. We need to wait for the notification. Once the notification would be issued, then it will be, the word would be defined. What is the meaning of the retail pack, etc. Till that time, we have to wait. Also, the Legal Metrology Act is saying packaged commodity meant for industrial consumer and institutional consumer. If the packaged commodity is being given to the industrial consumer and institutional consumer, again, this act will not apply. Meaning thereby, again, it is applicable only to the retail category, because I have highlighted that particular term, that in terms of the retail pack. Now, once the notification would be issued, we would have the more clarity, and we'll have the again one similar type of the webinar to discuss the actual impact. Earlier, these items are not taxable. Now it become taxable. Fine. Similarly, petroleum, coal, scientific and technical instruments supplied to the Public Research Institute. There was a concessional rate of the taxes. See, this point you need to understand, because it has one more leg in this particular announcement with respect to the refund. See, if I am making the supply to public funded research unit, then the rate would be reduced to 5%. The applicable tax rate was not there. Where it is written, there is a notification 47/2017 issued on 14th November. They are saying if the scientific and the technical equipment are supplied to the public funded research institution, the rate would be 5%. Now what it changes? They are making the changes that actual tax rate would be applicable. Now, why I am saying that it has one more another implication in terms of the refund, we will discuss. So this the particular extract of the notification, withdrawal of the exemptions, exemption on the transportation of the passenger by air to and from northeast state and Bagdodra is being restricted to the economic class. Earlier, the exemption was given to every class, business class or economic class, but now the exemption has been withdrawn for the business. It is being extended. Now it is being applicable. The relaxation is now only restricted to the economic class, not the business class. Next, exemption is being withdrawn. Akhilji, in my view, again, it would be In my view, again, it would be, Akhilji, we need to wait for the notification. We need to wait for the notification, and then they will explain the word retail pack, whether the same word would be there or not. Exemption on the following service is being withdrawn: transportation by rail or vessel of railway equipment and material, storage of the warehouse. Earlier these are exempted, now it become taxable. What is the advantage? I can say these particular supplier would be entitled to take ITC. The ITC would not be restricted. What are the categories in which exemption has been withdrawn? Transportation by rail or by vessel of railway equipment and material, storage or warehouse of the commodity which attract the tax, like nuts, spices, copra, cotton, etc. So now they are saying the warehousing of every item would not be exempted. If the item is exempted, then it would be exempted subject to the exemption notification. And now I can say that if the particular item is taxable, the warehousing would also be taxable. Fumigation in warehouse of agriculture produce, now it become taxable. Service by the Reserve Bank of India, IRDA, GST, even GST and services become taxable. So GST is a company, we all know. Now the service given by the GST is being taxable. It means whatever they are raising the invoices on the government, it will be taxable. Renting of the residential dwelling to the business entity. See, earlier we were reading that serial number 12 of the exemption notification 12 by 2017, which talks about that residential dwelling given for the purpose of the residence, it would be exempted. Meaning thereby, so we are not required to see that who is my recipient, whether it is a registered or unregistered, doesn't matter. If the purpose is residence, then transaction would be exempted. For example, I have the residential unit given for the purpose of the director residence to the XYZ Limited. Now, because the purpose is the residence, the transaction would be exempted, even though I have given to the business entity or registered person. Now they are saying it would be exempted only when the recipient is not the business entity or unregistered person. So now if I'm giving the residential unit for the purpose of the residence to the registered person, it would be taxable. I would not be entitled to take the benefit of the notification number 12, serial number 12. Service provided by the Cord blood bank by way of the preservation of the stem cells. Like CTP, common biomedical waste treatment, facility for treatment of the disposal of biomedical waste shall be taxed at 12% so as to allow them ITC. Hotel accommodation, again it's a big change, that now even if it is up to ₹1,000 shall be taxable at 12%. Room rent exceeding 5,000 per day per person charged by the hospital shall be taxable to the extent of the amount charged for the room at 5% without ITC. See, again, there is some problem or how it will be taken, or it will lead to the litigation only when we will able to understand. In the future, we would be able to understand. But the problem is, if the, we are, suppose we are talking about healthcare services that is exempted. So if it is a healthcare services, then entire service would be exempted. There's a concept of the composite supply. There's a principal and the ancillary transaction. According to the principle, the transaction would be taxable. Simple example, let's say we are talking about ICU treatment. In that, some particular medicine is also being supplied, but healthcare service is also being supplied. Medicine is taxable, implant is taxable, but the principal supply is healthcare, and which is exempted from the GST. And therefore, the entire combo would be exempted. even though some item are taxable or not taxable, because we know that composite supply means the supply of two or more taxable item being supplied in bundled nature, out of which one is a principal and rest are ancillary. Meaning thereby, in the similar case, whether hospitals who are providing the healthcare services, are they providing the separately the renting of that particular room? Answer would be no. It is a bundled nature. There are multiple combinations out of which renting is there. I have the option to choose which bed I like to choose, which room I like to choose. According to the category I'm selecting, but what is the basic principal nature of the transaction? Healthcare, which is exempted. But now they are saying if the room rent exceeding 5,000 per day per percent charged by the hospital would be taxable to the extent of the amount charged for the room at 5% without ITC. So will it deviate the concept of the composite supply? Why this concept would not be covered like as an element of the composite or the mixed supply? So we need to wait for some more time. When finally the notification, its drafting explanation will come, we will have the more clarity plus the future litigation. Tax exemption on the training or coaching in recreational activity relating to the art or culture is being restricted to such services when supplied by individuals. The council directed that group of the minister on casino, racecourse or online gaming re-examine the issue in its terms of the reference based on the further input from the state and submit its report within a short duration. Now, electric vehicle, whether or not fitted with a battery pack, are eligible for the concessional rate. Very good clarification. Why? Because we have the experience of the advance ruling. Like I have given one extract of the advance ruling of Anjali Enterprises, Odisha Advanced Ruling Authority decision. What was the ruling? What was the ruling? That we read the ruling together. That for a vehicle to be construed as a battery operated vehicle, the same must be powered exclusively by electric motor, wherein the traction energy is supplied exclusively by the traction battery installed in the vehicle. Fitting of the battery cannot be considered as a concomitant factor to define the vehicle as a battery powered or battery operated vehicle. So therefore, the 2 or 3 wheeled battery powered electric vehicle when supplied with or without battery pack is classifiable under this HSN and as electrically operated vehicle and is taxable at the 5%. We have some adverse advance ruling. Yes. Then they have clarified whether it is fitted or not with a battery pack, that electric vehicle would be taxable at concessional rate of the 5%. All fly ash bricks attract same concessional rate irrespective of the fly ash content. Stones covered in the serial number 123 of the schedule 1, even if they are ready to use and polished in the minor way, attract concessional rate. GST rate on all forms of the mango under custom tariff heading 0804, including mango pulp, attract GST rate of 12%. However, entry is also being amendment to this make amply clear. Raw or fresh mangoes continue to be exempted. Sewage treated water is exempted and is not the same as purified water provided in the serial number 99 of the notification 2. Purified water is being omitted to make this amply clear. Nicotine attract the tax rate of that 18%. The condition of 90% content with respect to the fly ash brick apply only to the fly ash aggregator, not the fly ash bricks. As a simply measure, the condition of 90% content is being omitted. So I can say now the percentage is not material, and why this is being clarified, probably that could be the decision given by the advanced ruling authority. In this case, the Gujarat Advanced Ruling Authority is clarified that fly ash bricks or the fly ash blocks are taxable at the rate of 18% and 5% respectively, because of some constituted 90%, 70%, and accordingly they are being taxable at 18 instead of the 5. Ice cream We all know that has been very, very ambiguity. Huge ambiguity is being created by the circular 164 in last year, October 6, 2021. Why that ice cream is being treated as goods, then, and it is not being treated as a restaurant services. So there was a lot of ambiguity because earlier the people are, or the taxable registered person have make the supply by charging the GST at the rate of 5%. The doubt was arose that for this particular period, what would be the outcome? Because after this circular, they have clarified that ice cream is a goods and it cannot be the services. So they have clarified that GST rate on the ice cream at the rate of the 5% without ITC for the period till the circular was issued, to avoid unnecessary litigation. That's great. So I am not going to the circular 164. We all have the knowledge. Application fees charged for the entrance or for issuance of the eligibility certificate for admission or issuance of the migration certificate by university is exempted from GST. Again, that in or built fiber is covered in the serial number 24B of exemption notification in the categories of the raw vegetable fiber. The exemption is being rationalized. Nepal and Bhutan transit cargo. If any service is associated with the transit cargo, both to and fro Nepal and Bhutan are exempted in the serial number 9B. Activity of the selling of the space for advertisement in souvenir published in the form of the books is eligible for the concessional rate. We'll discuss. There is one question regarding 2A. We will discuss definitely. All the question we will discuss, but at the end of this webinar. Okay. Fine. Activity of the selling of the space would be chargeable at 5%. Renting of the vehicle with operator for the transportation of goods on time basis is classifiable under 9966 and attract 18%. GST on such renting where the cost of the fuel is included is being prescribed at 12%. Allowing choice of location of the plot is a part of the supply of the long-term lease of the plot of the land. Therefore, the location charge or the PLC are a part of the consideration charge for the long-term lease and shall get the same treatment under GST. These all clarification we can say to the larger extent are based on the multiple adverse advance ruling. Prakashji, just wait for some time. We will discuss open any question with respect to the point export, deemed export, every open question we will discuss. Allow me some time so that we can complete the 47th GST recommendation and then we will move to the all question answer. Allowing choice that we have discussed, service provided by the guest anchor will attract GST. Additional fees collected in the form of higher toll charges from vehicle not having the fastest is essential payment for the toll for allowing access to the road shall be given the same tax treatment as given to the toll charges. It means again, we can say somehow the concept of the principal and the composite or mix apply. Service in forms of the associated reproductive technology ART in vitro fertilization IVF are covered under the definition of healthcare for the purpose of exemption under the GST. Renting of the motor vehicle to the body corporate is taxable in the hand of the body corporate under RCM. It's a big clarification. We need to wait for any circular or amendment in the notification, etc. But what this point is clarifying, for example, XYZ Limited has taken the services from a renting of cab only for like say for pick and drop or some sort of, it's not a time period. See, I'm highlighting the word time period. They are saying if it is a time period renting of motor vehicle, then it is covered under RCM. It means on day-to-day basis. Suppose your employee like to visit from location A to the client place. He's hiring the cab online and paying the amount. Will it be covered under RCM if the supplier is not the body corporate? So we know that there is a serial number 15 of the RCM notification, which talks about the renting of the motor vehicle is covered under RCM. If the supplier is other than body corporate and the recipient is body corporate, supplier is not charging the GST at the rate of 12%. So now they are saying which renting of the motor vehicle are covered. For example, your employee need to visit from office to the client place. He booked the cab. I'm not using the word Ola Uber because they are body corporate. So it is not covered under RCM. Let's say they have hired any other cab wherein the supplier are not body corporate and you are body corporate. Prima facie, the multiple organization, body corporate are paying the tax to avoid any unnecessary litigation. Now they are saying, see, they have made the difference, rent a cab service versus renting of the motor vehicle. Rent a cab service versus renting of the motor vehicle. So if it is a rent a cab services, it is not covered under RCM. Renting of the motor vehicle wherein you are taking, for example, 1 month on monthly basis, let's say 15 days or something, then on that you need to pay the tax under RCM if you are body corporate. The public transport used in the exemption entry, which exempt transportation of the passenger by public transport other than predominantly used for tourism purpose in a vessel between place located in India, means that such transportation should be open to public for point-to-point transportation. Example, in Andaman Nicobar Island. So they have clarified this particular public transport meaning. Sanjay ji, yes, there is a clarification also. Just wait for some time. The answer would be yes. The answer for your question would be yes, but just wait for some time. Sale of land after laying down of the drainage line, etc. is a sale of land and does not attract GST. It's a very, very good decision or good clarification. Multiple advanced ruling authorities are saying, multiple Gujarat Advanced Ruling Authority, they are saying in the activity of the plot development, the followings are done, then it would be taxable. It is not the supply of the land. They are saying that sale of land even after laying down of the drainage line, etc. would constitute the sale of the land, and therefore it is covered in the schedule 3 para 5 and therefore it will be out of GST. So we all know that particular decision. In short, I have explained. Now the all taxable service of the Department of the Post would be subject to the forward charge. Until now, certain taxable services of the Department of the taxed on RCM basis. Now everything would be under forward charge. So the clarification would be issued. If I would be able to recall that serial number 5 of RCM notification 13 by 2017, correct, which talks about that government service given to the government service would be under RCM except certain category in which the Department of the Post is being covered or is being taxable under forward. So there are certain categories of the transaction which may come under RCM, but now they are saying all taxable service will come under forward charge. Again, there would be the notification or changes in the existing serial number 5, or there would be some clarifications. So the road transportation of goods are exempted by the notification. Is there any change due to the recent decision? So the road transportation, earlier it was also exempted. So there is no changes. Or if I go to the serial number 18 of exemption notification, see only 2 categories of the road transportation are taxable. One is courier and second is GTA. Apart from that, every transportation of the goods by road exempted by virtue of the serial number 18. So I think there is no changes. but just need to complete all the changes, then we will discuss. Now the again big change, GTA is being given an option to pay 5 or 12 under forward charge. Option to be exercised at the beginning of the financial year. Can anybody tell me similar type of the intimation to be given in which categories of the RCM? See, one category, the RCM is asking the same category, same type of the intimation to the jurisdictional officer in one annexure. Can you tell me which category is imposing the requirement to inform the same before the or that at the beginning of the financial year, and you cannot change that option during the financial year? Excellent. The category is content given by the author to the publishing company by way of the copyright, in which author has the option to opt forward charge or reverse charge, but they have to give the declaration in annexure 1 that whether they like to go under forward or under RCM. So till now we were very confused that in case of the GTA, is it possible that one can change during the financial year? Or one GTA can opt different tax rate for its customer. Like for customer A, they like to opt 5%. For customer B, same GTA like to opt 12%. Is it possible? The third confusion was that can distinct person GTA, for example, one pen, they are having the 2 GST number. Can one go for forward charge, one go for reverse charge? These type the question were being raised, but there is no such clarification. First time they have touched upon that this point, that now they have the option. The option was earlier also after the amendment in the notification 13/2017, wherein what was the amendment? They are saying that GTA who are opting 12% would be excluded from the RCM category. It means the GTA has the option to forward charge, but in that case they have to levy the tax at the rate of 12%. Otherwise the recipient will pay the tax at the rate of 5%. But what about the intimation? What about the limitation, restriction? Nothing is being clear. First time it is being clarified that yes, which categories one GTA like to go, it has to be intimated. Now what would be the form of the annexures? What would be the pattern of communication? It will be clarified. Service provided, next, Indian tour operator to a foreign resident for tour partially in India and partially outside India is subject to the tax proportionate to the tour conducted in India for such foreign tourists, subject to the condition that this concession does not exceed half of the tour duration. So there would be the clarification. Now these are the major recommendation regarding the law and the procedures. Now this is a two-way discussion. This is not the one-side discussion. I will not discuss alone. You also need to participate with me. In principle, approval for the relaxation in the provision for the supplier making supplies through e-commerce operator. First tell me, if Mr. A is making the supply through e-commerce operator, let's say first he is supplying the goods, is it mandatory or he has to take registration only when the threshold limit is exceeded? Give me the answer that if Mr. A is making the supply of the goods through e-commerce operator, is it mandatory registration or he has to take registration only when the threshold limit is crossed? The answer is registration comes under section 24. It's mandatory. What about the services? Can anybody confirm? What about the services? Is it mandatory? Or again need to take when it crossed the threshold limit? Is it mandatory or when it crossed the threshold limit, then only they have to take registration? I'm talking about services. The answer is yes. it's not mandatory. In case of the services, it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. In case of the goods, it is mandatory registration, but in case of the services, they have to take registration only when the threshold limit is crossed. This relaxation is being given by the notification number 65 by 2017. Notification number 65 by 2017. In that case, they have to take registration only the service provider cross the threshold limit, be it 20 or 10, depending upon the state or categories. Now 24(9), they are saying waiver of mandatory registration for the person supplying the goods subject to certain conditions, such as the person is not making the interstate taxable supplies, the aggregate turnover not exceeding 20-1. 20-1 is talking about the threshold limit. Composition. So the first thing now I can say in the 24(9), see, the relaxation is for service provider. Now there would be the relaxation for even supplier of the goods. They are being relaxed from taking the mandatory, provided the supply should be intra-state. It cannot be inter. Next is composite dealer. Again asking the question, can composite dealer make the supply through e-commerce operator? Yes or no? Can composite dealer make the supply through e-commerce operator? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can composite dealer make the supply through e-commerce operator? Answer is no. Cannot make the supply. Big no. Because when we discuss section 10 subsection 2, the condition, or 10 subsection 2a, the condition for the composite dealer, then one of the conditions, they cannot make the supply of the goods. Earlier it was goods, and now from 1/1/2021 they have added the word services also, meaning thereby they cannot make the supply of the goods or services through e-commerce operator. It means from 1/1/2021, if one restaurant is service providing, if restaurant is providing the service, then they cannot make the supply through Zomato if they are registered under composition on or after 1/1/2021. Now what they are saying? They are saying that composition taxpayer would be allowed to make intra through e-commerce operator subject to certain condition. Maybe what would be the condition? The condition, they cannot make the supply interstate. Correct. So now the composite dealer would be allowed to intra through ECO. Now I can say that in case of the goods regular category, they can make the intrastate supplies of the goods within the state through e-commerce operator, and similarly composite dealer are also able to make the supplies of goods or services. Just wait, we have to wait for the notification, and once the notification would be issued, we will have the more clarity. Very, very excellent. Changes in the formula, they are suggesting amendment in the formula 89.5 for inverted duty structure. See, we all know that 89.5 talks about refund in case of the inverted duty structures. So in case of the inverted duty structure refund, will be allowed to take the refund of input, or input and input service, or input service capital goods? What would be your answer? In case of inverted duty structures, we would be allowed to take the refund of only input after Supreme Court judgment that after VKC Food Steps Private Limited, we all know that they have restricted the refund only to the input category, not input and input service. Correct. Now, what was the problem in the formula? See, I like to discuss the formula first, and then probably there would be the clarity. See, we would be able to understand when only the formula or clarification would be given. But what is the prima facie error which we would be able to understand from the formula? Let's analyze. See, this is the formula given in 89.5. Correct. So before that, please tell me one thing. If I am falling under inverted duty structure, you all have clarified that I would be entitled to take the refund of only input. But can I use my ITC of input service toward my tax payment of the tax liability? See, I have the ITC of the input service. Can I use this ITC for my payment of the output tax liability? If my supply is covered under inverted duty, the answer would be yes. No problem, sir. No problem. So what was the issue? What was the issue? The issue is, which I can see, issue is this one. This is the formula. See, I'm repeating again. This is the entire formula, but what was the issue? The deduction. Try to understand with the help of example. Suppose my output tax liability is 1 lakh. My output tax liability is 1 lakh. My ITC is 1,50,000 for goods. I'm just assuming that my example is, in my example, the particular registered person is covered under inverted duty. So the inversion of the tax rate is there. He is paying the higher tax rate on input, lower tax rate on output. Try to understand, and then we'll be able to more explain in better manner. See, my ITC on the input. ITC on the input is 1,50,000. My ITC of the input service, let's say 50,000. Let's say 50,000. My tax liability is 1 lakh. My tax liability is 1 lakh. As per the current formula, how much amount I would be eligible to take the refund? What was the amount of the refund? See, 1,50,000 minus 1 lakh. So maximum refund amount is 50,000. I'm assuming that my 100% outward supply is inverted duty. Repeating again, I am saying that turnover of the inverted rated supplies of the goods divided by adjusted total turnover, let's say it's same amount, 10 crore, multiplied by net ITC on account of the input, which is 1.5 lakh. Now, what is the tax liability? Sir, 1 lakh rupees. How much is the maximum refund? 50,000. Don't you think they are allowing the refund of ITC on input? That is perfectly okay, no problem. But don't you think they are also saying that your output tax liability can be utilized through input only? You have the output tax liability of 1 lakh. You have to use only input and balance amount would be refunded. Prima facie, it appears that even they are putting the restriction for payment of the taxes of output supplies by utilizing the ITC of input. Do you agree with this or not? See, 1 second, मैं broad करता हूँ, 1 मिनट के. Is it okay now? I hope it is okay. Mrigendra ji, kindly confirm. So what is the maximum refund amount? That turnover of the inverted rated supplies of the goods and services multiplied by net ITC divided by adjusted total turnover. Let's say it is 1,50,000. Same turnover, I have the 10 crore ka turnover. Total turnover is also 10 crore. Inverted rated is also 10 crore. I have only one turnover that is falling under inverted. And what is the net ITC of the input? 1,50,000. Now they are reducing the tax payable. On such inverted rated supplies. So that is 1 lakh. So I would be allowed to take the refund of only 50,000. See, the problem is I would be entitled to take the refund of input. That is okay. 54.3 is creating the restriction. No problem. But there is no restriction in terms of GST Act and the rules for utilization of input service for the payment of the tax liability. If I have the ITC of input service, I can use for payment of the tax liability, even in case of the inverted duty. But the problem is somehow this part is not capturing that particular proportionate. So we may assume only the clarification would be issued, then only we would be able to have the better understanding. There would be some changes so that the minus part would be only covering the not only covering the ITC by utilizing the input, it will also cover the utilizing the input and input service. So there may be some proportionate concept would be used to reduce the output tax liability. There would be the concept. Absolutely correct, Prakash Rangappa ji, absolutely correct. Moving to the next part. So that I have explained. See, amendment in the CGST rule for handling of IGST refund claim. Means risky exporter are, see, their ITC was kept on hold. There are some artificial intelligence, DGRM. So some exporter are being categorized as a risky exporter and their ITC is being held. So now they are saying they would be allowed to take the refund. Recredit of amount in the electronic credit ledger. What is this case? Recredit of the amount in the ECL to be provided on those cases where erroneous refund amount sanctioned to a taxpayer on account of the accumulated ITC on account of the IGST paid on zero rated supplies in contravention of 9610. See, can anybody tell me what was the contravention? Multiple notification we have seen for 9610. Can anybody explain me what is the 9610? What is the restriction for that particular category? What was the issue? What was the issue? So first, you just give me the brief. Just give me the brief. What was the issue? Excellent. Sir, your good name? DS, your good name? Very nice, sir. I'm really appreciating your knowledge. Excellent. So in the initially, probably I have used some, I have doubled the tax rate. Probably initially I have doubled the tax rate, which you have corrected. Thank you so much. And there is a I have doubled the tax rate, correct? Now? So the problem 9610, see this problem, there is a lot of notices are being served. What is the problem? Try to understand. If, see, rule 96 is talking about payment of taxes for export. If I'm doing the export, I would be able to take the refund. If I'm going through the route of on payment of IGST. And there is one 96 capital A which talks about LUT. There are the 4 restrictions. The 4 categories of the person are not entitled to go for payment of IGST. If they like to export, they compulsory have to do the export on LUT. What are the 4 categories? First is notification 40 by 2017. So that is talking about the merchant exporter. Second is the notification 48 by 2017. They are talking about the deemed export. Third and fourth, they are talking about the 2 custom notification wherein advance authorization license benefit is being taken. So when the inward supply is being taken on a concessional rate, then these 4 categories of the person or whose purchases are not entitled to do the export on IGST. Compulsory, they have to do the export on LUT. Perfect, no problem. So what is the problem? Probably they have done the export on payment of IGST. So why the notice is being issued? Because they cannot do the export on IGST. So what is the problem? Probably they have taken the refund. See, try to assume that I am purchasing the goods by taking certain substantial benefit of deemed export or merchant export or that custom notification 79 and something. And now I'm doing the export on IGST. on payment of IGST. So automatic route is there, na? Refund automatic route. Correct, na? I'm not required to file the refund application. I'm not required to file the refund application if I have opted on payment of IGST. If I have opted on payment of IGST, this is automatic route. So probably the government has given the refund of entire ITC. Why no automatic route? Sir, why no automatic refund? In case of the export of the goods on payment of IGST, why no automatic refund? Rule 96 is saying, sir, shipping bill is deemed to be the refund application. Neeraj, if I am opting the payment of the, if I am opting the route on payment of IGST for the goods, it is automatic. There is no RFD 01. No, sir. There is some mismatch. There is some confusion. We'll discuss later on. I'm talking about export of goods, sir. I'm talking about Rule 96. Rule 96 is applicable on export of the goods for payment of IGST. So for rest all the category, there would be the, for rest all the category, there would be the furnishing of RFD 01 is required. So what is the point? If I have taken the refund and because of the 9610, I am making the payment of entire refund which I have taken. I am making the payment of entire refund which I have taken. So what should be the next step which automatically to be done by the portal? That recredit the electronic cash ledger. The ITC which I have used for payment of the taxes. See, ITC which I used for payment of the taxes and I have taken the refund, now paying back the refund. Sir, the credit should be given back to me. The credit should be given back to me. Now, currently it is not automatically recredited in the electronic credit ledger, or not multiple follow-up is being done by the taxpayer. Now they are saying it will be automatically recredited. Any doubt or it is clear? Please confirm this clarification. I hope it is clear. So we would be, so they are creating the PMT03A. Now they are introducing one new form, PMT03A. The automatically there would be the recredit. One may file the, see, currently do agree, but certain at multiple state, see, it also vary from officer to officer. Some officer are allowing, some officer are not allowing. But we need to make the refund application any other category, we need to approach the department. But now they are saying it will be automatically. So that's a good thing. Interest on the, see, interest would always be there. If I have taken the erroneous refund, I have to pay back the same along with interest. So prima facie, there would be the interest. Prima facie, there would be the interest if I have taken the erroneously refund. See, section 50 would be restricted for payment of the taxes, or 50 subsection 3 is restricted for ITC. But if I have taken the refund excess which I am not eligible, I have to pay back along with interest. Earlier application would not be, probably it would be prospectively, sir. Probably it would be prospectively. Penalty would not be there. Penalty would not be there, but interest would be there. Section 110 and 111 of the Finance Act, they are talking about, they will introduce the same at the early. We all know that 50 subsection 3, what is that? If input tax credit is wrongly availed and utilized, then only it will attract the interest. And this proviso is made retrospectively amended. So this provision 50 subsection 3 has been entirely substituted by this Finance Act 2022 and made retrospective applicable from 1 July 2017. Also, the rate which were given in the notification, that earlier it is 24, now they are saying it will also be amended retrospectively and the new rate would be 18%. So I can say that it gives the double benefit. The first benefit, ITC reverse wrongly availed will not attract any interest. If it is wrongly availed and utilized, then only the interest would be applicable, plus the rate of the interest would be 24%. No, it would be 80. Section 111, section 111 is talking about 4910. Again, they are talking about 4910 means the input tax credit can be transferred from one GST number to another. This is my question to all of you. Can the input tax credit be transferred from one GST number to the another GST number? Answer would be no. Whether the Sekhar has asked the question, electricity generating company can now claim the refund of its input taxes? Yes. So there is an amendment, there is a clarification. We will discuss some point over that. Alankar Kumar is saying export under LUT through courier. Shipping bill raised by the courier. It's correct. How we claim the ITC, sir? If you have the shipping bill, which is being entered in the table 6A of the GSTR1, and you have to file the refund application. So the question which are being asked, that if I have the one PAN multiple GSTN, see, let me talk about first what is the PMT09. In the one GST number, I can transfer the cash from one major head to another major head, or from one major head to minor head, or vice versa. Major head means tax, CGST, SGST, IGST, and minor head means tax, interest, penalty, fees, etc. I can transfer from anywhere to anywhere within the GST number. Now 4910 is talking about that you can transfer the ITC. No, sir. You can transfer the cash ledger of one GST number to the another GST number. It can be IGST, it can be CGST. Obviously, it can't be SGST. So you can transfer the I and C to the another I and C of the distinct person. That they are saying we will bring the changes at the early. Yes, it is proposed. 50 subsection 3 is also proposed amendment by the Finance Act 2022. And similarly, this amendment is also the proposed amendment. They are saying we will do the we will bring the same, we will notify the same at the early. That's it. Because currently also there is a good amount of the notices on this particular point. So day before yesterday only, I have seen the notice on the reversal of ITC with the rate 24%. Even though there is an amendment, but still in the field force, there are the such type of the demand is going on, and that as a reason, probably this was taken care by the council meeting. GSTR4, probably the GSTR4 we all have furnished, or if not furnished, then we have some more relaxation with respect to the waiver for the late fees till 28 July. And similarly, the CMP08 for the first quarter is being extended to 31st July. So negative cash ledger, will we apply for the refund? Where would we have to wait? I would say just wait for some couple of days. Might be there would be the more clarification given by the CBIC regarding the negative cash ledger. So because we have already paid the taxes, extra. And now we are applying the refund. As per the last clarification, you have to go for the refund application. Which category I should select? First point, any other taxes or excess taxes paid. Which period I have to select? If there is a mistake, for example, there is a mistake, it will be rejected. Whether that amount will be recredited to my cash credit ledger from where it is being debited. So I would suggest, please wait for some couple of days. We will have the more clarity. Next is clarification claiming the refund under inverted where the supplier is supplying. Yes. Big problem after circular 135. So in the circular 135, there was a new concept is being created. If there is a different tax rate at different point of time, it is not inverted duty. If it is the different tax rate at the same point of time, see, try to understand. I'm saying the different tax rate at different point of time, they are saying it is not under inverted duty. Example, for example, I am a trader. I have purchased the goods at 28%. And on the next day, the rate has been reduced to 18%. On my outward supply, the rate of the taxes is 18. I have purchased at 28. Would it be qualified under inverted? And therefore, would I be eligible to take the refund of input only? Answer is no. Why no? Because circular 135 has clarified. But the negative impact of the circular 135 has been taken. What is the interpretation taken by the GST officer? I can say, suppose I am making the supply to the merchant exporter, having the tax rate at 0.1%. See, if I make the supply to the merchant exporter by using the notification 40, I have to make the supply at 0.1%. There are various concessional rate notification, like I was talking about supplying the research equipment to IITs for further research. Whatever the tax rate, I have to charge only 5%. These all are under inverted duty and eligible to take the refund, but after circular 135, there is no refund. It appeared to me that after this clarification, that this type of the restriction would be removed. See, otherwise what happened? No one would be interested to to charge a lower rate unnecessary because of any notification. If someone is charging the reduced tax rate, then in my view, it should be allowed. Why I am saying it should be allowed? Because if I go to the circular 135, it is talking about the different tax rate at different point of time. If there is a different tax rate on same point of time, see, try to understand the different tax rate on the same point of time. What does it mean? It means that suppose I am purchasing the goods at 28 and there is a 28 rate only. But at the same time, I can charge 0.5, 0.1 or 5% because of some notification. It would not be debarred from the refund or under inverted duty. Next, clarification on the various issue regarding applicability of the demand and penalty provision under GST Act in respect of the fake invoicing. So what was the problem which prima facie we are listening from social media and etc. There was a problem that in case of the fake invoice, let's say the party A making the supply to the party B making the supply to party C is making the supply to D is making the supply to E. There's a chain. Only bogus invoice is being routed. Actually, there is no supply. So will the penalty under 73, 74, section 122, 125, will it be levied on every supplier A, B, C, D, E? Will there be tax 5 times on a single transaction? Will there be penalty levies on all the 5 parties? This issue would be clarified. How it will be clarified? We have to wait for the circular. We would be able to understand more in detail. Next point, clarification in mandatory furnishing of the correct and proper information of interstate supply. So I think they are talking about the GSTR 3B. Okay, sorry, they are talking about the GSTR 3B and table 3.2, interstate supplies. Nowadays, we can say that if I am making the interstate supplies to the unregistered person, to UIN holder, to composite dealer, it is auto-populated based on the GSTR 1. But still, the people are not filling the 3.2. The misconception for 3.2 is that it will lead to double tax liability. No, sir, it is not leading to double tax liability. It is only the disclosure so that based on that, government can do the revenue segregation. Based on the place of the supply, they will allocate the taxes to the respective government, state government. So that would be useful. Now they are making the mandatory, or probably they will talked about that general penalty can be levied. Next, amount to the ineligible and the block credit and the reversal thereof. See, we are talking about the table 4B1, 4B2, table 4D1 and 4D2. See, 4B1 and 2, we have to give the bifurcations. Next, 4D1 and 4D2 of the GSTR 3B, currently we are not putting the information. Currently, we are not giving the information. Why we are not giving the information? Because we know the calculation part is being ended at 4C. Whatever we are entering in the 4D, it is only for sake of information. Now it appears that they are going to use this information and therefore they are making it mandatory. So if something is the block credit 17.5, if you recall the table 4D ineligible credit, there are 4D1 and 4D2. 4D1 talking about the block ITC as per 17.5 and 4D2 is talking about other ineligible ITC. Like I am into the real estate sector. So I can't take the ITC. So whatever the ITC that is become ineligible. So I have to put in the 4D2. So now this reporting would be mandatory. Certain other clarification that pertaining to the refund claim by the recipient of the supply regarded as deemed export. So what are the deemed export? Someone has asked the question also. I think Mr. Prakash, you have asked the question, what is the status of the deemed export in respect of the export, sir? So the deemed export, we know the 4 transactions are the deemed export, supply to the export oriented unit, supply to the EPCG against supply the capital goods against EPCG license, supply against advance authorization, and supply of the gold by bank or PSU against custom notification 50 by 2017. So these are the 4 category of the transaction which is being mentioned in the notification 48, and that notification is being issued under section 147. So these 4 transactions are the deemed export. They are saying we will issue certain clarification. So probably, so when the circular would be issued, then we will. So recently there was one clarification regarding the deemed export. What was the clarification? That the relevant date is 2 years to be counted. Then they are talking about the, or also if I go to the section 54 explanation 2 and section 54.3, in case of the deemed export, the date would be counted from the date of the furnishing of the return. So in case of the deemed export, either supplier can take the refund or the recipient can take the refund. Either party can go for the refund. So in which there was one clarification that they are talking about the GSTR 3B. So the GSTR 3B to be furnished by the recipient or by the supplier. So they are talking about by the supplier. This part has been clarified recently. Now there would be probably more clarifications. We will just, when it will be announced, we will have the more discussion. So next point is clarification on 17.5 interpretation issue. Clarification on interpretation issue means 17.5 has the multiple problems. Like if I go about 17 subsection 5 clause AA. So clause A, clause AA and the clause AB. The new clause was inserted on 1st Feb 2019. So what was that? That was talking about that supply like insurance, service, repair, etc. that will also be ineligible category. But there is one confusion. If someone is purchasing the goods, which is specifically not covered in the 17.5A, AA or AB, would it be blocked or that person would be able to take ITC? So for example, he's purchasing only tires. He's purchasing the tires, that is goods. But in the 17.5, only services is being blocked, not the goods. So what about that? If I go to the section 17 subsection 5 clause B, there is one big issue, sir. There is one big issue. What was the issue? That you know that there is a proviso after clause 3, after clause B subclause 3, that if something is being provided by the employer to the employee as a part or as a part of any other, as a compulsion of any other law, ITC would be eligible. It can be any goods, any services. But what is the problem? Advanced ruling authority is interpreting that proviso, which is written being after subclause 3, is applicable only to that subclause. It means if some company is providing the food as a part of the factories act, more than 250 labor, or companies purchasing the car because of the companies purchasing the ambulance because it is compulsion. They are dealing in the hazardous material. So they have to compulsory buy the car, ambulance. So will they be able to take ITC? The prima facie it appear that yes, if it is compulsion by law, one would be able to take ITC. But the problem is multiple decision given by the advanced ruling authority, probably that can also be clarified. 17.5C and D also need some clarification, because in the explanation to 17.5D, which talks about construction means to the extent of capitalization. What does it mean, the capitalization? If I will capitalize the same in my books of accounts, prima facie that would be the capitalization. But again, I can say the multiple viewpoint is being taken in the decision of R, advanced ruling authority. So that can also be clarified, even though the clarification can be with respect to CSR expenditure. Clarification can be with respect to the business development expenditure. So one is providing the some item as a gift or free sample because of some compulsion due to agreement or some clauses of the contract between manufacturer and the distributor, which is being provided with no charges, with no collection. Will that ITC would be available? So there is multiple confusion in the 17.5, for which they are saying we will issue, but we don't know that for which part they will issue the clarification. We have to wait. Once the clarification circular would be issued, we will discuss again. Again, the perquisite provided, we have discussed on utilization of the amount of electronic credit ledger and electronic cash ledger. Yeah, that part is very, very important, because after the judgment of the Jyoti construction, if I'm not wrong, it is Odisha High Court judgment, which was saying that one can use the electronic credit ledger only for payment of the tax, but if someone is making the payment of the bill 10%, they have to make the payment compulsory in cash. Earlier, I'm using the word earlier there was a section 41, which 41 subsection 2 is creating the restriction that ITC can be utilized only for the payment of the self-assessed tax liability. What about the other liability? For example, appeal, which is not the self-assessed. So can the ITC being used? Again, they are saying clarification would be issued. That would be welcome one. So last 9 and 9A for the financial year 21-22, again, annual aggregate turnover up to 2 crore. Again, it would be relaxed. 43.1, that is saying that they are saying, yes, it's superb circular or clarification or amendment. They are saying in the explanation, see what is the rule 43. Rule 43 is talking about, see, there is a section 17.2, which talks about if I am making the supplies taxable as well as exempted, I need to reverse some ITC, correct? So wherein they are saying certain type of the supply will not be considered as exempted, like interest, like schedule 3, except para 5. In that they are saying we will add this particular MEIS or SEIS duty script. So if I am doing the export, then there is some duty script, MEIS or SEIS accrue to me. I can make the sale and take the payment, and receiving the realization, that would not be taxable. So now I am reporting in the exempt supply. What is the replication? Once I will put the supply under exempted, there is a notice for reversal of ITC. There is a notice for reversal of ITC. So please understand, this is the last discussion. Please understand, mere disclosure under the exempt supply in the table 3.1.c of the 3B will not attract the reversal as per the rule 42-43. No, not necessary. We have to see whether my exempt supply is covered in 43 explanation or 17.3 explanation. Then there is no requirement of reversal. We have to see that whether there is any common ITC which is being used for taxable and exempted, then only the reversal would be there. Suppose I am using my ITC only linked to the taxable supplies, then there is no requirement of reversal. So these type of the issue which are faced in the current scenario, but probably this clarification or this amendment would be welcomed. So there are a couple of pages are there. Please allow me. UPI and IMPS would be allowed under 87.3 payment of the taxes. Next, there is different term. If I go to the SEZ rules and act, they are using the word authorized officer, specified officer, correct? And there is a different term. So they are giving the confirmation, clarification that explanation to be inserted that specified officer under the rules shall be the specified officer or authorized officer as per the SEZ rules. So under the CGST, when we are making the refund application, we know that it should be for authorized operation. Who is approving the transaction, that it would be by the specified officer. When I go to the SEZ, then they are talking about the authorized officer. So they are saying both are same things. Amendment in the CGST rule. So there are some questions. Let me discuss this question. So quickly close and then we'll come to the questions. Amendment in the CGST rule to be provided for refund of unutilized ITC on account of the export of electricity. So we know the problem. What is the problem is being faced by electricity nowadays? The supply the electricity is a goods or services. Supply the electricity is a goods, we know. Then for exporting this electricity, we know we do have the shipping bill, then only we can file the refund application. But in case of the supply of the electricity, it will not have any shipping bill or it will not have any bill of export. So in these cases, they are getting the problem. Probably it would be clarified. Duty-free shop at international terminal to the outgoing international passenger to be treated as export. And consequently, refund benefit to be available. We will see the changes in the 95A. Provision for automation, revocation of suspension, where the suspension of the registration was done by the system for non-compliances in 29(2)(b) and C. What is that 29(2)(b) and C? 29(2) giving the power to the proper officer to suspend registration. What was that? Clause B is talking about if someone has not filed the return for consecutive period of 6 months. Clause C is talking about if someone has not, if composition dealer has not filed the return for GSTR4 for 3 months after the due date. So there is an amendment in the Finance Act 2022. Considering that, I am talking about clause C, because existing clause C is talking about 3 quarters. So which is not relevant, which is not exact correct also. So they have corrected the same in the Finance Act. Now they are saying if the GSTR4 is not furnished within 3 months, then suspension would be there. After that, they are saying one all return are filed by then it would be automatic revocation. Excellent. Now we need to file. Currently, we have to visit the department requesting the officer. But in this case, there would be the automation revocation. Proposal for comprehensive changes in the 3B to be placed in the public domain. So they are changing in the 3B. What would be the changing? See, one biggest change is being asked by everyone, that amendment. We know that we cannot file the revised return, but at least there has to be some amendment. So wherein we can put the revised information of the previous tax period. Next is the time period between 1st March 20 to 28 Feb 2022 would be excluded in calculation of the limitation period for filing the refund. So that would be great. So again, I can say if someone refund is being expired in between these days, now one can go and file the refund application. Next is similarly, they are talking about for the purpose of section 73, the time limit, 2 year 9 months is the time limit to issue the notice, and 3 years is the time limit to issue the order under section 73. Correct. So that time limit for 17-18 from the due date of annual return, it will be counted. So probably they are saying it is time expired. So now they are saying the period of 1st March to 28 Feb 2022, this 2 year would be excluded. So effectively, I can say the 3 year would be now treated as 5 year. Council has decided to constitute the GOM to address various concerns raised by the state in relation to constitution of GST Appellate Tribunal and make recommendation for appropriate amendment in the Act. It feels they are ready to make the amendment as given by the Madras High Court. What was the amendment? Can you tell me? What was the question is being raised in the Madras High Court? That number of the technical member cannot exceed the judicial member. As per the current provision of the GST Act with respect to the tribunal, There are two technical members, one from center, one from state, and there is one judicial member. It cannot exceed the judicial member. So they will discuss with the state, and accordingly corresponding amendment would be made in the GST Act, and we would be able to see the tribunal in very soon. They have dispersed 50%, and AM and AI artificial intelligence they will discuss. So by this I have completed the same, and now it's over to you. You can ask any question with respect to GST. We will discuss for 15 minutes. We can discuss any question, and then we'll conclude the webinar, because from 7 o'clock I have the regular class. So there are a lot of questions. Let me talk about these questions. If someone question is there, GST on the charging station of EV, probably it is not taken up in this. We have to see the notification. And normally the rate is not possible for me to remember. Exporting the service via internet database, any clarification? No, not any clarification. But why there is a requirement of clarification? Because of OIDI concept. No, nothing, no clarification. Subham, I have filed my return showing the supply intra instead of inter. Later on, I've rectified the same, but I've put that excess twice. How to apply the refund? RFD 01. There is a separate category of section 77, and we know that for all the, see, this rule is being added on 24th September 2021. We have the time limit till 24 September 2023. Go and refer 89(1)(a). There is a separate category in the online portal. You can go and file. Advance received in the pre-GST and forfeit in the GST regime. GST applicable or not? There is no supply. In my view, answer is no. Absolutely correct. I do agree with you. There is no supply at all. Only forfeiture is there. This forfeiture can't be treated as a supply and can't be taxable in the GST. Definitely it will be litigated. Ready to litigate, no issue. Filing the statement 6 is showing error. Sir Subham, probably you have to raise the ticket. Whether a refund in case of the export of the electricity also covered supply to the SCZ customer? Yes, because it is zero rated supply. Na? It is zero rated. Zero rated will cover both. Vinod Kumar Sharma ji, where will supply made to the merchant exporter be reported in 1 and 3B? In the 3B, there would be reported in 3.1.A and GSTR1, and GSTR1 it will be added in the table 4A. 4A. If while filing the appeal, I have adjusted the IPT for 10%, okay, ITC, that appeal is accepted, but what will be the fate of the same? As you told that IPT will not be utilized. See, they are saying it will be clarified. I am not saying that it has been rejected or it has been accepted. No, they will issue the clarification, and we have to wait the clarification. Probably they may say in favor, they may say our against. So after the clarification, we would be able to discuss again. Can I rectify my 1819 GSTR1 of one exporter? Time limit is being expired. 1819? No, you can't. Sir, who is required to file annual GST return? Every taxpayer having the annual aggregate turnover more than 2 crore. Refund of recreated in case of the refund taken wrongly against import of the advance recreated or rejected. Ramnik. So either you have to file any other category, till the time there is no automatically recrediting is there. Till the time you have to file the refund under or any other category. For transporter supply to be shown under which table in the GST 3B? Ideally it should be shown as 3.1.A. Subham, ideally it should be shown as 3.1.A. Just check whether the system are allowing. If you are putting the taxable value and not putting the tax liability, they are accepting. Probably answer is no. Then you have to compulsory show in 3.1.C. There is no other option. In current month, one of my member is telling that yes, now they are accepting 3.1.A without any taxable part. If this is the case, you go for that. Otherwise, 3.1.C. Whether ITC and the supplier credit note need to be disclosed under reversal of the ITC on all other ITC need. In my view, if there is a credit note reversal, you should separately show. Pay an amount of the interest as under 171.3 further. Sir, I'm not able to discuss in fast that figure. What is the question? Can you tell me in short? In GST for annual return 1920, I missed some additional column in the file return. It is not correct. Your opinion, please. Some additional column in the file returns might be. Is it so? I'm not sure. I'm not sure because why they have added. You need to approach to the GST or you may raise the request. Can any supplier supply chemical to the Kanpur IIT 5%? Yes or no? As of now, yes, but from 18th July, they will make the amendment. They will make the amendment, and after that, we have to see what is the amendment. Till now, yes, they can make the supply. Just check the notification 47 by 2017. If it is covering in the concessional rate, then just yes, otherwise no. Annual return composition dealer not filed for earlier years, so late fees of the 10,000. Is there any waiver? Sir, there is no requirement also. See, there is no requirement also. Annual return GSTR 9A, Lokesh Agarwal, 9A. It is being relaxed from 17-18 till now. Till now, they are relaxing 2 crore. So composition dealer can maximum have the turnover of 1.5 CR. Agreed, na? I'm just replying that quickly. You can revisit to the webinar also by YouTube. Correct, now? Because we have the shortage of the time. I have to complete in 15 minutes. Okay. So annual return is not applicable or not compulsory for since 2017-18, not required to file at all. You are talking about GSTR 9A, correct? Or 9, you are talking about GSTR 4. Reconfirm. ITC reversed for non-payment within 180 days. ITC reversed for non-payment within 180 days for export of the refund if payment made now can be refunded for claimed if 2-year shipping date has expired. You will have the problem, but it will not be easily available. See, the 2-year time limit is given in 54 section explanation of section 54, and that is, I think there is no direct connection or there is no such relaxation for 2-year. But my point, whether you reversed or not, you may apply, sir. One more thing, Vinodji, one more thing, that this current relaxation of 2-year, 1st March 2020 to 28 Feb 2022, probably this 2-year would help you. How effective? Section 10 Alankar, Mr. Alankar, section 103 is clearly saying that decision of advance billing is applicable on 2 persons, the one who is making the application and the one who is giving the decision. That's it. So we TaxScan and Educating jointly, we are running 2 categories of the courses. First is the GST certificate course, wherein we are discussing 65 hours in detail. If anyone is interested, can approach the TaxScan for more detail. And recently we have launched the One Business Corporate Accountant course, very new to the finance field. One who like to make the career in the finance field can approach and join our Business Corporate Accountant course, which is to be started from 6th of July this month. 6th of July, we are starting the Business Corporate Accountant course. There is 7 modules are there: income tax, GST, tally, account, export import, banking, and PFESIC. So by covering all these, we have launched one course, very nominal rate. You can ask the TaxScan team. The fees is very, very nominal, reduced. You can ask for the discount and approach the TaxScan team. It is to be started from 6th of this month, July. For refund, can we apply 132 till date? Yes. If the relevant date is expired on 1st March to 28 February, it will be excluded. Now you need to please send your email ID and phone number. See, my email ID, you can approach the TaxScan team. I would be able to support through TaxScan team. Whether supply to the SEZ is treated as a deemed export. Sir, it is 0 rated supply. See, deemed export is only 4 categories of the transaction, which is mentioned in the notification 48, and which is not the SEZ. So it is covered in the 16 subsection 1 of IGST, 0 rated supplies. My question related to GSTR 4, then yes, then no solution. Lokesh, then no solution. Then no solution. You have to pay the late fees. There is no relaxation. So team has already shared the link. If one is interested to join the Business Corporate Accountant course, you may register. You may ask the details of that course. Is covering the 7 module in detail, and it is currently running at a very discounted price. For the price, you need to approach the TaxScan. Ready me. what do if I forgot to file my last year annual return? Need to file with late fees. If it is, which you are talking about, GSTR 4, GSTR 9A, GSTR 9, which? Ready me Y2, please confirm which return you are talking about. Your view on the plotting scheme and GST. Sir, it is clarified, na? Probably it is clarified. So just wait for the circular, but yes, answer would be no. There would be no GST. There should be no GST. And if we fight, there would be no GST. You are talking about like just I have the land and I've just converted into the plot or basic MST I have provided and then I'm selling. Will that be GST on this particular transaction? I think you are talking about this. So we need to wait for clarification, sir. See, this is only the press release and which is not binding. This is only the press release which is not binding. We have to wait for circular. Probably they may use the examples to explain. So this type of the stress or very minute discussion is important, but we will do the same only after the circular is being issued. So any other question? So probably there would be some question on Q&A. So any other question? I think I already answered of a question asked in the Q&A group, right? On pre-deposit, you are talking about which pre-deposit, sir? Which pre-deposit? 1076. 10%, 25% for utilizing the cash or credit. So I request, please put the question again. If I have missed, sir, there is a lot of chat. So I request, please put the question again. I'll wait for your question and then we'll conclude the webinar. There's a lot of question. Fine, no problem. I'll wait. You are writing, I'm waiting. Where do we get the details of the upcoming Jitender ji, tax scan team? I request, give the contact number, please. Give the contact number, please. You can approach the tax scan team or visit the tax scan website. All the courses would be visible. So right now, the next course, which is to be started from 6th, of July, the course is Business Corporate Accountant course. 7 modules is being covered. Very detailed course. One who would like to make the career in the accounting field, it is excellent course. Very discounted price with 2 government certificate will give the very added advantage to all of you. Very added advantage. So Jitender ji, the team will call you on 900 on the number given by you, and also the tax scan team has also shared their number also. I request, please call after this webinar. How to get a stay order in case of the appeal filed in case of interest and penalty? Only 1076 stay the pre-deposit in dispute arising of the order to get auto stay. If they are not staying, need to approach High Court. So the only problem there, till the time there is no tribunal, my limited view, because I do not have the too much knowledge about the High Court and the Supreme Court. Probably to the extent of my limited knowledge, I can say in the absence of the tribunal, if there is no auto stay, they are debiting or they are blocking my bank account. In that case, we have to approach High Court. No other solution. In Kerala, the proper officer issuing the notice for not furnishing the detail into A. Is it correct, sir? No, not correct. Not correct. But the problem is everywhere. This is not the problem of one state. This is the problem of everywhere. They are issuing the notices on the basis of the 2A even for the period prior to the 9th of October 2019. What is that date? Rule 36.4. That is not correct. In my view, that is not correct. You should litigate the matter till the time tribunal is being established. Let them tribunal to be decided. Namaskar, Ms. Pandey. Kaise hain? Badhiya? Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the participants, all the members who have joined this webinar and listening to me till the last. Thank you so much, and we'll be connect again. How to get the refund of ITC amount recredited in the credit ledger on account of the import? Sir Ramnik ji, only one solution, that you can apply the refund on any other category. For the time being, there is no automatic There is no automatic recrediting that we have discussed in the PMT03A. New form will be added. Till that time, you have to file the refund by using the any other category of particular categories. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Srinivasan sir. Thank you, Srivasthan sir. Any other question? Any other question? Fine. We have to conclude now.
Yeah, thank you, Arun Jaharji. Like, it's been a wonderful, fantastic session. I can see a lot of comments uploading like your session, and it's been wonderful. I was also listening. Thank you so much, Arun Jahar, and thank you so much all the participants. I would request, if you wish to join our business corporate accountant course, I have already shared the registration link in the chat box itself. I'm sharing it once again in the chat box. Those who are interested, please register your details there. My team will contact you in some time. And thank you very much. The webinar is end. Thank you.
Okay, goodbye.